Calculate the net pay by deducting the mandatory or standard deductions. Mary Johnson is an employee at XYZ Corporation. She earns a monthly salary of 115,000 pesos. Since she is working at XYZ Corporation, it indicates that she is a private employee. The following are the mandatory or standard deductions for private employees. Social Security System, PhilHealth Insurance Corporation, HDMF or Pag-ibig, and withholding tax. To know the SSS contribution, we will look for the SSS table and check the range of compensation column to find where your monthly salary falls under. To find the employee's share to be deducted from your salary, check the column marked EE. For PhilHealth, the basic compensation multiplied by 0.05 and then divided by 2 determines the contribution for PhilHealth. Meanwhile, the maximum monthly premium for PhilHealth is 5,000, and this amount is equally divided between the employee and the employer, resulting in a deduction of 2,500 from the employee's earnings. For Pag-ibig, the maximum Pag-ibig contribution is capped at 200 pesos per month once members have a monthly salary above 10,000 pesos. Now to compute for withholding tax. We will first identify the taxable compensation income of an employee. In this case, we will deduct the total mandatory deductions from basic compensation. That will be 115,000 minus 4,050. And the taxable compensation income of an employee will be 110,950 pesos. Next, refer to the income tax table and locate the relevant monthly row based on your income. Identify the column that corresponds to your taxable compensation income. In this case, with the taxable income of 110,950, it falls under column 4, which has a compensation range of 66,667 to 166,666. Then, subtract the minimum compensation range from the taxable compensation income to find the excess amount. In this case, the minimum compensation range in this column is 66,667. Now, look for the prescribed withholding tax and get the base amount. Compute the prescribed tax amount based on the excess over the minimum compensation range. In this case, the calculation would be 44,283 multiplied by 25%, resulting in a tax amount of 11,070.75. Now, add the base tax amount and the tax amount on excess of minimum compensation range. To calculate the net pay for an employee in the private sector, subtract the total withholding tax from the taxable compensation range. In this case, the computation would be 110,950 minus 21,904, resulting in a net pay of 89,045.92 pesos. Next, calculate the net pay by deducting the mandatory or standard deductions from the gross salary. The mandatory deductions are GSIS, Government Service Insurance System, PhilHealth, HDMF, Home Development Mutual Fund, also known as Pag-ibig. Withholding tax. The key differences between public and private employees are: public employees contribute to GSIS, while private employees contribute to SSS, Social Security System. The GSIS contribution can be computed by multiplying the basic compensation by 9%. And the calculation process will be just the same as private. One, which type of commission involves an increase in the rate of commission as the volume of sales increases? A. Commission plus override. B. Graduated commission. C. Salary plus commission. D. Straight commission. The answer is graduated commission. In a graduated commission structure, the salesperson's commission rate increases as they reach specific sales targets or milestones. This means the more they sell, the higher percentage of the sale they earn. This incentivizes salespeople to push for higher sales volume. 2. What is the term for the first payment made when buying something with an agreement to pay the rest later? A. Balance. B. Commission. C. Down payment. D. Sales. The answer is C. Down payment. Here's why the other options are incorrect. Balance, this refers to the remaining amount owed after the initial payment. Commission, this is a fee earned by a salesperson for making a sale. Sales, this is the overall revenue generated from selling goods or services. 3. What is the term for the commission earned by a senior salesman from the sales of his salesman, in addition to his own sales? A. Balance. B. Bonus. C. Commission. D. Override. The answer is D. Override. An override commission is a percentage earned by a senior salesperson, often called a sales manager, on top of their own commission for the total sales made by their team. It incentivizes them to effectively lead and coach their team members to achieve sales goals. 4. James earns a commission on his sales. He receives 12% of the total amount he sells. If James sold 45,000.00 worth of products this month, what is his commission for the month? A. 540. B. 5,400. C. 54,000. D. 540,000. Given R. Commission rate equals 12%, expressed as a decimal, equals 0.12. Total sales amount equals 45,000. Formula to use. Commission equals commission rate times total sales amount. Substitute. Commission equals 0.12 times 45,000. Commission equals 5,400. Therefore, James earns 5,400 pesos in commission for selling 45,000 pesos worth of products this month. 5. Carlos makes 15,000 pesos a month plus earns 8% of everything he sells. If he sold 75,000 pesos worth of items this month, what are his total earnings for the month? A. 16,200 pesos. B. 21,000 pesos. C. 27,000 pesos. D. 75,000 pesos. The given are the following. Commission rate, 8% of all sales. Sales, 75,000 pesos. Monthly salary, 15,000 pesos. To calculate we will use this formula. Total earnings equals monthly salary plus commission. To substitute. Total earnings equals 15,000 plus the quantity of 75,000 times 8%. Is equal to 21,000 pesos. 6. Ana Maria earns a base monthly salary of 4,500 pesos, as a salesperson and is required to sell at least 20,000 pesos worth of items per month. Additionally, she receives a 6% commission on all sales beyond the monthly quota. If Ana Maria sold 28,500 pesos worth of items this month, what is her total earnings for the month, including her base salary and commission? A. 21,600 pesos. B. 9,600 pesos. C. 6,210 pesos. D. 5,010 pesos. 7. The Santos family buys 2,500,000 pesos in property insurance from an insurance agent. If the agent charges a 0.75% commission, how much will the Santos family pay the insurance agent? A. 18,750 pesos. B. 25,000 pesos. C. 37,500 pesos. D. 187,500 pesos. 8. What is the compensation given to employees who work beyond their regular working hours? A. Holiday pay. B. Separation pay. C. Retirement pay. D. Overtime pay. The answer is D. Overtime pay. 9. Maria, an employee at a marketing firm, is expecting a baby in a few months. She is entitled to take a paid leave of 105 days to care for her newborn. What type of leave is Maria eligible for? A. Sick leave. B. Maternity leave. C. Vacation leave. D. Parental leave. 10. John has worked for his company for over 30 years and is now approaching his 65th birthday. According to company policy, he is entitled to a benefit equivalent to at least half a month's salary for every year of service. What benefit will John receive upon reaching this milestone? A. Holiday pay. B. Separation pay. C. Retirement pay. D. Overtime pay. The correct answer is C. Retirement pay. 11. Lisa works at a call center and her shift usually starts at 9 p.m. and ends at 5 a.m. Her company offers an additional benefit for hours worked between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. to compensate for the inconvenience of working late hours. What is this benefit called? A. Holiday pay. B. Separation pay. C. Overtime pay. D. Night shift differential. The correct answer is D. Night shift differential. 12. Which of the following is not part of the mandatory deductions from an employee's earnings? A. GSIS premium. B. SSS contribution. C. 13th month pay. D. PHIC contribution. The 13th month pay is not part of the mandatory deductions from an employee's earnings. The 13th month pay is a mandatory benefit provided to employees, but it is not deducted from their earnings. Therefore, the correct answer is C. 13th month pay. 13. Which of the following is considered a de minimis benefit for an employee? A. Transportation allowance. B. Rice subsidy. C. Health insurance premium. D. Performance bonus. 14. Which of the following is not a benefit by the wage earner? A. Income tax. B. Separation pay. C. Overtime pay. D. Holiday pay. Income tax is a deduction from a wage earner's salary, not a benefit. Separation pay, overtime pay, and holiday pay are all benefits that a wage earner can receive. So the answer is A. Income tax. 15. What is the maximum allowable limit for the 13th month pay, bonuses, and excess of de minimis benefits? A. 70,000 pesos. B. 80,000 pesos. C. 90,000 pesos. D. 100,000 pesos. The maximum allowable limit for the 13th month pay, bonuses, and excess of de minimis benefits in the Philippines is 90,000 pesos. 16. If John earns a monthly basic salary of 12,000 pesos, what would be his monthly contribution to the Social Security System, SSS? A. 500 pesos. B. 540 pesos. C. 560 pesos. D. 585 pesos. Based on SSS table, the monthly contribution of John will be 540 pesos. 17. Pre-ZY receives a monthly basic pay of 15,000 pesos. How much will be her Pag-ibig contribution per month? A. 100 pesos. B. 200 pesos. C. 300 pesos. D. 400 pesos. The maximum Pag-ibig contribution is capped at 200 pesos per month once members have a monthly salary above 10,000 pesos. So the answer is 200 pesos. 18. Mr. A has an annual taxable income of 300,000. How much is his monthly income tax? To determine the monthly income tax, we'll divide the annual taxable income by 12. In this case, dividing 300,000 by 12 yields a monthly taxable income of 25,000. Having established the monthly taxable income, we can now identify the corresponding tax bracket. In this instance, the 25,000 amount falls within column 2, which encompasses a compensation range of 20,833 to 33,332. Upon identifying the applicable tax bracket, we will proceed to calculate the excess by subtracting the minimum compensation range of 20,833 from the monthly taxable income of 25,000. The resulting excess will then be multiplied by the prescribed withholding tax rate of 15%, applicable to income in excess of 20,833. Given that there is no tax base amount and the tax for income in excess of 20,833 amounts to 625 and 5/100, the total monthly income tax is simply 625 and 5/5. 19. What term refers to the duration during which a person works beyond their scheduled working hours? A. Overtime. B. Overtime pay. C. Hourly rate. D. Daily rate. A. Overtime. The term overtime refers to the duration during which a person works beyond their scheduled working hours. 20. What is the total earnings for a worker with a daily rate of 650 pesos and 4 hours of overtime? A. 1,050 pesos. B. 1,850 pesos. C. 1,450 pesos. D. 1,700 pesos. 21. Which of the following accurately describes overtime pay? A. Overtime pay is mandatory for all employees. B. Overtime pay is exclusively granted to night shift workers. C. Employees receive overtime pay for not working on their rest days. D. Employees who exceed 8 hours of work receive overtime pay. The accurate description of overtime pay among the given options is D. Employees who exceed 8 hours of work receive overtime pay. This is in line with the standard labor laws in many regions, which typically stipulate that employees must be compensated at an overtime rate for hours worked beyond the standard 8-hour workday. 22. What is the overtime pay of Tina if she works for 10 hours on a regular day and earns a total of 4,000 pesos? A. 800 pesos. B. 892.76 pesos. C. 952.38 pesos. D. 1,333.33 pesos. If an employee works 26 days in a month, including 3 regular holidays, and earns a daily rate of 600 pesos, how much is the monthly earnings? A. 15,600 pesos. B. 16,500 pesos. C. 16,900 pesos. D. 17,400 pesos. To calculate the monthly earnings of the employee, we need to consider the following factors. Number of work days, the employee works 26 days in a month. Daily rate, the employee's daily rate is 600 pesos. Now, let's break down the calculation. Total earnings equals, number of work days times daily rate, plus, number of regular holidays times daily rate times holiday rate. Total earnings equals, 23 days times 600, plus, 3 holidays times 600 times 2. Total earnings equals, 13,800, plus, 3,600. Total earnings equals 17,400. So, the correct answer is D. 17,400 pesos. 24. If John's annual gross earnings are 420,000 pesos and he works 300 days a year with an average of 2 hours overtime per day, what is his daily rate? A. 966.67 pesos. B. 1,066.67 pesos. C. 1,400 pesos. D. 1,466.67 pesos. 25. Isabel works for 9 hours a day and earns 2,800 pesos on that regular day. How much is her overtime pay? A. 311.11 pesos. B. 378.38 pesos. C. 399.99 pesos. D. 411.11 pesos. 26. What term describes a highly developed body of techniques for elucidating, interpreting, and analyzing numerical facts by means of points, lines, areas, and other geometric forms and symbols? A. Column preparation. B. Graphic presentation. C. Data manipulation. D. Data analysis. the term that describes a highly developed body of techniques for elucidating, interpreting, and analyzing numerical facts by means of points, lines, areas, and other geometric forms and symbols is b. Graphic presentation. 27. How can you create a visual representation of your data using spreadsheet computations? A. Navigate to the Insert tab, then select Bar Chart from the options. B. Go to the Insert tab, choose Bar Chart, and select the style that best fits your presentation. C. Input your data, navigate to the Insert tab, select Bar Chart, and choose the appropriate style. D. Input your data, go to the Insert tab, select Bar Chart, and choose the style that aligns with your business presentation. To create a visual representation of your data using spreadsheet computations, you can follow these steps. C. Input your data, navigate to the Insert tab, select Bar Chart, and choose the appropriate style. This process involves inputting your data, accessing the Insert tab, selecting Bar Chart, and then choosing the style that best suits your presentation needs. (29) In a report on the distribution of monthly expenses, which type of graph would be most suitable for illustrating the percentage breakdown of different spending categories? A. Line graph. B. Bar graph. C. Pictograph. D. Circle graph. In the context of illustrating the percentage breakdown of different spending categories in a report on monthly expenses, the most suitable type of graph would be D. Circle graph, also known as pie chart. A circle graph, or pie chart, is ideal for showing proportional data or percentages. Each category of spending can be represented as a slice of the pie, with the size of each slice corresponding to the proportion or percentage of the total expenses it represents. This allows viewers to easily grasp the relative contributions of each spending category to the overall expenses. Therefore, in this situational context, a circle graph would effectively convey the percentage breakdown of different spending categories in the monthly expense report. 30. At a local fruit stand, Aling Maria wants to compare the daily sales of buko juice and pineapple juice over the past month. Which type of graph would be most appropriate for visualizing this comparison? A. Line graph. B. Bar graph. C. Pictograph. D. Circle graph. In the context of comparing the daily sales of buko juice and pineapple juice over the past month at a local fruit stand, the most appropriate type of graph would be B. Bar graph. A bar graph is suitable for comparing quantities or values of different categories, making it ideal for comparing sales figures of different products like buko juice and pineapple juice. Each product category, buko juice and pineapple juice, would be represented by a separate bar, and the height of each bar would correspond to the sales volume or revenue generated for that product on each day. 31. How can a pie/circle graph be best described? A. Each segment is labeled to indicate its value relative to the entire data set. B. It visually represents the different components of a data set. C. It is composed of distinct slices, each representing a component of the data set. D. It illustrates the proportion of each component within the data set. The correct answer is A. Each segment is labeled to indicate its value relative to the entire data set. A pie/circle graph typically consists of slices, with each slice representing a portion or component of the data set. In a well-constructed pie chart, each slice is labeled to indicate its value or proportion relative to the entire data set. These labels provide clarity and context, allowing viewers to understand the significance of each segment in relation to the whole. By labeling each segment, the pie/circle graph effectively communicates the relative proportions of different components within the data set, enabling viewers to interpret the data accurately and make informed comparisons. 32. Which of the following best describes a measure of central tendency? A. It represents the middle or typical value in a data set. B. It shows how spread out the values in a data set are. C. It measures the frequency of each value in a data set. D. It indicates the difference between the highest and lowest values in a data set. A. It represents the middle or typical value in a data set. A measure of central tendency represents the middle or typical value in a data set. It is a summary measure that attempts to describe a whole set of data with a single value that represents the middle or center of its distribution. This best describes a measure of central tendency. 33. What is the purpose of calculating measures of variability? A. To identify the most frequently occurring value in a data set. B. To determine the average value of a data set. C. To measure the spread or dispersion of values in a data set. D. To find the value that appears most often in a data set. The purpose of calculating measures of variability is to measure the spread or dispersion of values in a data set. Variability describes how far apart data points lie from each other and from the center of a distribution. It provides essential information about the distribution of the data and is crucial for understanding the diversity or dispersion in the data set. So the answer is C. To measure the spread or dispersion of values in a data set. 34. If the variance of a population is 13, what is the standard deviation? A. 3.61. B. 3.63. C. 3.06. D. 4.01. To calculate the standard deviation from the variance, you can use the following formula. Standard deviation equals square root of variance. Given that the variance of the population is 13, that will be standard deviation equals square root of 13. The standard deviation is approximately 3.61. 35. What is the variance of the scores 2, 4, 6, and 8? A2. B4. C5. D3. To calculate the variance of a set of numbers, you can use the following formula. Variance is equal to the sum of the squared differences between each individual score and the mean, divided by the total number of scores. First, we calculate the mean. The mean, represented by the symbol mu, is calculated by adding the numbers 2, 4, 6, and 8 together and then dividing the sum by 4, resulting in a mean of 5. Then get the sum of squared differences. That will be 2 minus 5 squared is 9. 4 minus 5 squared is 1. 6 minus 5 squared is also 1. 8 minus 5 squared is 9. Divide the sum to total number of scores. Variance equals 20 divided by 4 is 5. Therefore, the correct answer is C. 5. 36. What factors contribute to the current increased balance? A. Gross balance and interest. B. Gross balance and down payment. C. Down payment and original amount. D. Interest and other fees and penalties. The answer is D. Interest and other fees and penalties. 37. In a scenario where you're working in a company based in the Philippines, you're discussing the company's leave policies with a colleague who's expecting a child soon. They inquire about the specific type of leave available only to male employees in the country. Which of the following options would you mention? A. Maternity leave. B. Paternity leave. C. Solo parent leave. D. Childcare leave. In the Philippines, male employees are entitled to paternity leave. This type of leave is specifically designed to allow male employees to take time off from work to attend to the needs of their newborn child and support their spouse during childbirth and the early stages of childcare. 38. You are chatting with a friend who recently became a single parent. They're curious about their eligibility for parental leave. Which of the following criteria would you highlight to qualify for parental leave as a solo parent? A. Being married with children. B. Being abandoned by a spouse for 6 months. C. Having legal custody of children after separation. D. Having a spouse serving a short-term prison sentence. To qualify for parental leave as a solo parent in the Philippines, the following criteria are important. C. Having legal custody of children after separation is a key criterion for qualifying for parental leave as a solo parent in the Philippines. This legal custody is significant in demonstrating the responsibility and care of the children after separation. 39. You have a credit card balance of 1,500 pesos with an interest rate of 18% a month. What is the current increased balance after 1 month? A. 1,500 pesos. B. 1,620 pesos. C. 1,770 pesos. D. 1,800 pesos. To calculate the increased balance after 1 month on a credit card balance of 1,500 pesos with an interest rate of 18% per month, we can use the formula. Increased balance equals gross balance plus current balance times interest rate. Using this formula, the increased balance after 1 month would be increased balance equals 1,500 plus 1,500 times 0.18 equals 1,770. So, the correct answer is C. 1,770 pesos. A salesperson sold 20 items on an installment basis, each costing 2,000 pesos, with 5 equal monthly payments. If the commission rate is 4%, how much commission will the salesperson earn in total? A. 800 pesos. B. 1,600 pesos. C. 2,000 pesos. D. 4,000 pesos. To calculate the total commission earned by the salesperson for selling 20 items on an installment basis, we can use the following steps. 1. Calculate the total sales amount. Total sales amount equals number of items sold times cost per item. Substitute. Total sales amount equals 20 times 2,000 equals 40,000. 2. Calculate the total commission earned. Total commission equals total sales amount times commission rate. Total commission equals 40,000 times 4%. Substitute. Total commission equals 40,000 times 0.04. Therefore, the correct answer is B. 1,600 pesos.